Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have something really cool and a little bit special for you today. I actually did vlog a little bit during my blackout tattoo sleeve process. I made some vlogs on another channel that was mostly in Norwegian, but I really want to share this little journey with you. So I took these old videos, made a little compilation for you guys, and decided to share with you the whole experience of what it was like to black out my arm, because it was special, and I have to warn you, it's a tiny bit gross, but very cool. So this recording is done right after I did my first blackout session, and you can probably see that this is very fresh. After this blackout session, my arm was really swollen, and it bled quite a bit. And so this plastic I'm wearing is so-called second skin. It's kind of self-adhesive plastic that's meant to go on skin, and it quickly filled up with all kinds of gross bodily fluids. I cannot believe how swollen my arm was. It was so crazy, and it was actually a pretty painful process, especially right after we had done the session. I had to hold my arm under running cool water for a while to try and limit the swelling, because it swelled a lot. So this is a few days later, and as you can see, my arm looks so much better. The swelling has gone down a lot, and the color is really starting to even out. Session number 2. So this is a couple of weeks later, and here you can see how the progress is going and get a glimpse of the old sleeve that was under it. It's not that I didn't like it, I just didn't love it as much as I wanted a black tattoo. The top inside of my arm was not done, so this is where we decided to make a skull, and instead of blacking it all out and then make the skull in white over it, we decided to just in this particular area to use the negative space as we made the skull. So this is why the skull ultimately is a little bit more bright in the light areas than the rest of my arm.
So I'm doing like a cover-up skull today on Tuna. Hi Tuna.
Hello. And it's already bleeding quite a bit.
Show her face. Show her face. Tuna? How's your arm?
It's fucking painful.
It's also very black.
Yeah, it's black and it's painful.
That's what you asked for.
Yeah, this is one really swollen arm. A few hours later, I was getting ready to get this plastic off. And during those few hours, a lot of gunk has been filled up in this plastic. And it feels really, really swollen and gross. And I cannot wait to free my arm from this plastic. But I gotta warn you, it's pretty gross. And yes, I bled quite a lot. I bled a lot more during this blackout process than I normally do when I get like a regular tattoo. And I guess it's not that strange, actually. This is a much more traumatic experience for the skin. It is a very, very saturated type of tattoo where you tattoo every little inch of the skin with a lot of ink. So yeah, basically your whole arm is like raw meat. So this gunk is just a mixture of black ink residue, blood, and bodily fluids that has just really cozied up inside of this plastic for a few hours. So it's very important to clean the area very thoroughly, but very carefully with some very mild soap and some lukewarm water to get all those, the gunk, just get that all off and let the skin breathe. And then you can apply some tattoo balm after that. So this is the day after, and I remember that night was quite painful. To sleep with this arm is, it's unpleasant. It's very swollen and it's throbbing. And yeah, you can feel that it's gone through a real trauma. I also packed the arm with plastic just during the night to protect the arm and my sheets. But still, my bed was pretty spotted with black ink the day after. At this point, the arm and the ink still looks very patchy, and this will get better over time. After it heals, it will even out a little bit, but sometimes you are gonna have to go over some spots again with black ink. In my case, I didn't have to do that. After it healed, it looked actually very good. Finally, we're at the third and the last session of the blacking out of my sleeve. So this is the top part that is left. And at the top of my sleeve, over on my shoulder, I have these butterflies that I really didn't want to black out. I actually kind of like the butterflies. So to make the transition from the blackout to the shoulder a little bit special, we did these butterfly silhouettes. So it flows kind of naturally in with the rest of the shoulder. Another round with some serious, gory, gross plastic stuff. This is kind of special. Normally, removing plastic after you get a tattoo is not nearly as gross as this is. As I said, because of the extreme saturation and trauma to the skin, this is very, very gory. I have to admit, though, that I think this is kind of cool This was so fun. I am not the kind of person who get grossed out easily. I almost never get grossed out. So to me, this was kind of fun. And the feeling of getting that plastic off is such a release. Such a great feeling. Except for the skull on the inside of my arm is now totally blacked out and ready for some white ink. But before we can do that, this arm has to heal for a long time. I waited around 6, 7, or 8 months maybe before I started the white pattern on top. A sleeve like this really needs time to heal and settle in before more trauma is applied. So it's been a few years, and since then I've also done the white on top of the black. The videos about that are on my channel, so just go check them out if you want to see the progress. It's been a couple years since I added the white. We only did one Passover with the white ink. I could go back and freshen up the white a little bit. I have considered it, but I actually do really like the look of how it is right now. I actually like this look where it's not that much of a contrast. It's kind of like grayish on the blackish. Personally, I kind of like that. I love my sleeve. I do not regret one little bit that I did this. I know a lot of you have asked me about an update on my arm, and you're curious about how it looks after a couple years, and I'd say it still looks great. That's my process. Now you've been with me through the whole thing, and I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions or other comments, feel free to comment, and I hope you guys will like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That actually helps me a lot. So thank you guys so much for considering that. And thank you, of course, again for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.